Hey, toy fans! Let's talk about X-Treme X-Men. Wait! Come back! I didn't want to talk about the comic. I wanted to talk about an action figure. Hit the intro. Hey, toy fans! Rob here. Let's get these guys out of the box and see what they're all about. Alright, toy fans, so this is the X-Men Classics X-Treme X-Men Rogue, released by Toy Biz in 2006. This version of Rogue is based off of an X-Men spin-off team called X-Treme X-Men that was running concurrently with Uncanny X-Men and the now famous, legendary even, New X-Men that was running in the early 2000s. The packaging for this figure does feature versions of Colossus, Cyclops, and Beast that we never actually saw in the comic books. And the back of the packaging does feature a cross-sale of the many characters that were available in Toy Biz's Swan Song X-Men Classic line. Alright, let's go ahead and get X-Treme X-Men Rogue out of this dingy packaging and see what she's all about. Alright, toy fans, here we have X-Treme Rogue out of the packaging, and I've got to be honest, I'm surprised she can stand. With these very bow-legged positioning of her legs just straight out of the packaging, I just thought her limbs were going to be too flimsy to hold the weight of the figure, but she doesn't weigh a lot as a toy, and the joints seem to be holding up so far, so that's a plus. I'll give it that. That's a plus. There's a lot of nice painted detail on this figure and a lot of nice sculpted detail. Look at the number of X's she has just on the back of her jacket alone. This is a, pretty decent incarnation of X-Treme Rogue from Toy Biz. I don't think it's 100% accurate. I always considered this costume more of a black and red, not necessarily a blue and red. So if I was choosing the colors when this was being made, I would have leaned more in that direction. Paint-wise, this Rogue figure is a bit of a mixed bag. Obviously, she's got a scrape on the tip of her nose there. A bit of an eyesore, really. I'm not sure what caused that. The bubble for the figure wasn't damaged in such a way that would have led to a scrape on her nose, so that must be a factory defect. She does have some white paint applied to her hair, and it's subtle, but she does have some brighter colored paint at the roots of her hair, and then gets darker as it goes down. She does have some paint shading on various parts of her costume you can see here, mostly on the blue areas. She's got some paint applied to the X-Men logo on the front of her costume. Most of the paintwork is fairly clean. We get a little sloppy around the knees and the joints, but otherwise, for being a 2006 Toy Biz figure, it's modestly okay. Accessory-wise, it does seem like Rogue is designed to have removable sunglasses on her face. However, when I try to pick at that accessory, it's kind of stuck in place, and I don't want to force it. I am a little bit concerned that if I do manage to get that off, that those sunglasses will not return to the face and stay on snug like they are now, so I think I'm just going to leave that one alone. Articulation-wise, Rogue is very of her time. She has a head that will bend down that far and look up that far, so you can actually get her in some flying poses. Her head will rotate all the way around. She's got a shoulder that will rotate all the way around and an upper bicep swivel. She's also got a double jointed elbow that's kind of loose out of the packaging already, and a full rotation here at the forearm, as spindly as it is. She also has a hand that will go down that far and up that far. She does have articulated fingers. Toy Biz specialized in that. She's got a diaphragm joint that will rotate left and right, but it's very tight. But it's quite similar to the Toy Biz Mystique or the Toy Biz Scarlet Witch figures, if you have those. It's that same sort of joint up at the mid-rib cage there. And then she does have an actual hinge, so she can bend forward, only about that far, and back a little better. There's no waist cut of any kind. She's got these awful ball hips at her hips that kind of make it difficult for her to do much more than stand in place. These are also similar to the early Hasbro She-Hulk hips. Pretty much anything from the 2007 era of Hasbro Marvel Legends, not great. She has double jointed knees that will bend that far back. She also has a foot that will go forward very far, go back very far, and it does have a hinge, not a pivot, just a hinge at the base of the ankle there. Height-wise, X-Treme Rogue does stand right at 6 3/4 inches tall. Here she is compared to Toy Biz's first 6-inch Rogue figure attempt. Here she is compared to the Juggernaut Wave Rogue figure from Hasbro, though that is the retro Rogue head on the top of that body. And here she is compared to the retro Rogue body with the head from the Pyro 2-pack. And here they are compared to the X-Men 97 Rogue figure. I could bring in a few more Rogue figures, but let's go ahead and save that for another video. As far as contemporaries go for this Rogue costume design, there are a few options out there currently. There's the X-Men Classics Gambit figure, who's wearing his matching X-Treme X-Men costume, though unlike this Rogue that's red and blue, that Gambit figure is actually in the proper black color scheme. There's also a super rare variant figure to the Toy Biz Psylocke figure that was part of the Mojo wave. That figure featured Psylocke in her X-Treme X-Men costume. Good luck finding that one. Just this year, Hasbro actually provided us what they consider an X-Treme Wolverine figure. And I've talked this situation to death on social media and in other videos, but while this does give the appearance of an X-Treme X-Men Wolverine, long story short, it's not. Wolverine wore this costume one time on one cover of X-Treme X-Men and was never actually a proper member of the team. Wolverine did eventually become part of X-Treme X-Men in a non-canon story that released a couple of years ago, but for all intents and purposes, this team doesn't really work. Lastly, while they weren't all on the same team together, you could potentially swap out this faux X-Treme X-Men Wolverine and replace him with the new X-Men Wolverine from Wave 1 of the X-Men Classics line from Toy Biz. And if you're going to be posing X-Treme X-Men Rogue with your new X-Men Wolverine, you might as well go ahead and bring in your new X-Men Zorn figure. But that's the costume breakdown. Hasbro's got some work to do, but I certainly wouldn't mind seeing an entire run of X-Treme X-Men figures available today with modern articulation and design. Hasbro, consider this my verbal promise to pre-order. Alright, toy fans, well, that's my review of the X-Men Classics X-Treme X-Men Rogue released by Toy Biz in 2006. Overall, as somebody who read X-Treme X-Men each month as the book came out, I'm glad to have this Rogue figure in my collection. But she is absolutely not necessary to yours. And frankly, at this point she's so dated, I'd rather Hasbro just give us a brand new version of this Rogue figure, instead of us having to deal with such a dated figure. But what do you guys think? Have you read X-Treme X-Men? Did you even know this version of Rogue existed in figure form? And which Rogue outfit would you still like to see in the Marvel Legends line? Let us all know in the comments below. And thank you for joining me today, toy fans. If you guys like what you saw here, please go ahead and give this video a like and share it with your friends. You guys can always keep up with me at D21Beast, and I'll see you guys next time. Sugar.